Hey gang, it is Monday, December 3rd, 7:20, and it's been 3 days, I want to say, and we passed our first 1,000 mark on YouTube. Uh, Talk to Mike, it's I think almost at 500. All right, Ricky, I didn't know you shared my link again. All right, let me look at this. Okay, well, um, yo, thanks. Uh, well, sorry, I'm reading. What I want to do today to make it a little interesting is to read certain uh, YouTube. Huh. Sign in. Oh, come on. Well, what was I up to? I was up to trials and tribulations. Oh, the last thing was the freestyle. When we went to the radio station. Um, that was after 88 Keys. And rock while I told that story. Oh, I can tell you about this one. So I end up running into Pharrell, right? Did that story. So the reason why is because I was still chasing Jay-Z. Now, the next thing that happened was I said, Jay-Z's dropping another album because Jay-Z at that time dropped albums every year, right? So, I was expecting him to drop another album, and then American Gangster came. Now, at this time, I remember I had my Sign Me shirt, and I said, let me upgrade to Jay-Z Sign Me the next time because I wanted him to sign me, right? And mm, he he was I got that shirt made a while back, and he was promoting the American Gangsta album. So at that time, I think TRL was done. That was like the last year of TRL, and so I was aiming at 106 in Park, but at that time you had to get tickets online and all that stuff, and I went up there and I walked to 106 in Park, and as I was walking, I took the train. So I'm walking with this big Jay-Z sign me and turning the knob on my pants leg on both ends, the back and the front. I'm in the subway. I'm all over the place. LIE, I mean LIRR. I didn't care. I wanted people to ask me to rap, at that time because that was the best way to showcase my talent. So I get to at that time 106 in Park moved to the location it's at now. So I get there and I walk, and then this guy who had a pamphlet in his hand came up to me and said, "No, not a pamphlet. The checklist." He had his checklist, and he came up to me. He's like, "Yo, come here, man." And I'm like, "Okay." Oh, as I was walking, some kids stopped me. They was like, before that, down the block, it was like, "You going to 106 in Park?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "I like your clothes. I like your wardrobe and all that stuff. You rap?" I was like, "Yeah, I rap." So they ain't asked me to rap, so I ain't rap. So I went. And guy stopped me. He was like, "Yo, come here, man." And he says, "Yo, sign this, man." I was like, "What is this?" He said, "This is an in studio with Jay-Z. Like tomorrow, Jay-Z's having like an in-house studio session, and I was like the third name on there, and it's only 20 people that's allowed to come." So I was like, "Man, this is perfect." So I just left. After that sign, I left. They said someone's gonna call you. No, before I left, of course, they said someone's gonna call you, and they're gonna let you know where to be at because it's a secret location. You know. All right. So I said, all right, cool. So I went home. I'm riding. Boom, boom. Went back to Bayshore, and like around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, so I get a call, and it's someone of that camp, and they said, um, "We need you to take the A train to its last stop in Brooklyn. When you go up the stairs, you're gonna see a van, and it's gonna take you to the secret location at 10 o'clock." Right? So this is crazy, right? And my girlfriend at the time was Kim, right? And not to put their business out, I'm just telling the truth. I hope there's no offense in this. But her son had to go to the hospital, you know, that night. So she took the car, and she had to take her son. So when I called her, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna need the car." She was like, "Oh, my son's at the hospital." So I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." You know, she's like, "But if you want, you could get the car." I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'll just take the train tomorrow." It's like, "You sure?" I was like, "I'm sure." So then what I did was I ironed my clothes, and I got ready for the next day because I had like 4 or 5 Jay-Z signed me shirts and a bunch of like three. I think I had 4 turn the knob pants, and I end up. No, I had 3 turn the knob pants. I think 4 Jay-Z signed me shirts: red, blue, white, red, gold, red, black, and yeah, I had it to match my Jordans at the time. So I'm getting myself prepped for tomorrow. I said, you know what, I'm gonna wake up at 6 o'clock, take a shower, catch. That should be more than enough time to catch the train all the way out there, right? So I end up waking up 6 o'clock, and put the alarm on. Woke up, took a 15-minute shower, got dressed, walking to the train station. 6:25. I hear ding, 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 ding. I'm down the block, so I'm like, I'll just catch the next one. You know, it's 6:25. You know, I gotta be there at 10. They gotta be like a 7 o'clock train or 7:30 train. So the 6:30 train goes past. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then I see it. I was like, I'll catch the next one. So I get to the train station. Guess when the next train comes? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not expecting someone to answer through YouTube and through the screen like they can. Like I'm asking you and you're right there. But the next time the train came was 9 o'clock. So I'm at the train station 6:31. The train already passed. I'm like shit. Now I'm calling everybody. You know, I couldn't call Kim because it was 6:30 in the morning, but I called her anyway. And I asked her, I was like, is your son still in the hospital? She was like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I'll just call him out. I told her what happened, and she was like, oh man, see. I was like, nah, it's cool, you know. So I'm gonna call other people. So I started calling, and I called Sherry Elmore. I called another person, and I was like, damn, man. how the hell am I? But either way, even if I get a ride, how am I going to get to the last stop on the A if I don't even know where the last stop on the A is in Brooklyn? So I'm like, damn, man. So I'm thinking about a cab. I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And I was like, man, I don't got enough money to catch a cab to go from here to Jamaica. And I I went home and I started thinking. I was like, is there any other way? I was thinking about catching Babylon, and I didn't know. And Babylon's next train was 9. I was like, damn, man, why the fuck? So I started kicking my own ass, man. I started feeling so bad. And then that day, they actually showed the in-house, the in-house studio session, and it was a classroom inside the studio. And I felt so stupid because I knew I was gonna get a deal that day because I had a rhyme ready for it. Like I knew I was gonna be a person. I was gonna ask my question. Like yeah, I'm just gonna rhyme for you. I just need you to hear me. Like I know he's gonna play that old yo, okay, and then the class is gonna make it, and then I was just gonna rap for him and impress him. And I had it ready. Everything was positioned except, and this is the lesson here. Everything was positioned except laziness. Everything was positioned except I was lazy. And that's when I learned to stop being lazy. That's when I learned to not choose sleep before your career. If you really want it, because the night before, when they called and everything, I could have walked to the train station, but it was wintertime. And I was like, man, I don't want to go in the cold. But if I did, instead of depending on a car, depending on, you know, someone else transportation, I should have depended on my legs and my not lack of laziness to walk to the train station to know that I was supposed to be there before 6:30 to catch the train. And I would have knew if I wasn't lazy, and I wouldn't be doing this right now. I know I wouldn't because the rhyme I had was crazy, and I know y'all gonna want me to hear it. And the best, I say, it's one of the best raps I wrote. Not now, but at that time, it was the best rap that I wrote, in my opinion. And it went like this: Rakim influenced Nas, who influenced Jay-Z. Now imagine me saying this, right? Bring it back. Imagine if I woke up and no, imagine if I walked there the night before, like I should have, and saw that the train was supposed to come at that particular time instead of assuming. And I got there, and I got there on time. And I had my big Jay-Z sign me, all red and blue. Everybody was gonna look at me in the class. I knew that already. Had my hat to match, had my Jordans to match, had to turn the knob, had my album, or had a demo, and I had everything situated. And if I said this rhyme to him, Rakim influenced Nas, who influenced Jay-Z, who influenced me to be greater than all three. See, if Rakim's the God and Nas is God's son, and Jay-Z is the one, well, where does that leave me? None. The same none he spoke into existence from a distance, 'cause he's in need of my assistance. Since I'm the only one who heard the call, I guess I'm now Jehovah's Witness. I'm gonna stop it. I know that that was impressive. I knew that he would hear greatness. Not to mention, I'm sucking his ass a good amount. But he would have heard it and he would have been like, this kid is a thinker. This is not something that you run into every day. I knew that was going to happen. But because of laziness stopped me from getting that reality to happen. I did everything before that correct, and I slacked off at the last minute because of laziness. I didn't push myself. I didn't want to be cold. This is why I don't be lazy no more. That's the reason why I stopped. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it 125%. And I'm not going to stop because everything is going my way. It's going to continue. So the moral of the story is, just because you're getting close doesn't mean that you're close. You have to act like you are far away. So, thank y'all. That's Trials and Tribulations, I guess 4 or 5. I got another story. Which one is that one? Which one is that one? Damn, I got so many damn stories. Oh, that's it. I got the Trials and Tribulations 6 or wherever we at. All right, 2.